Sunday Dawg Chow, March 29th draft season drawing nearer. The latest Cleveland Browns news and notes from around the NFL in the Sunday Dawg Chow. The calendar is winding its way to the end of March, which means the NFL world is just a few weeks away from the 2026 NFL Draft. The Cleveland Browns are in a good position when it comes to the draft, as General Manager Andrew Berry has 2 selections in the first round at the ready, along with high selections in Round 2, number 39 overall, and Round 3, number 70 overall. Those will come in handy as Berry still needs to add a left tackle, a wide receiver, or 2, along with some other pieces to the roster. The biggest hole, of course, is at the quarterback position, but this may not be the year to scratch that particular itch with a selection in the first few rounds of the draft. That is next month's problem. So, let's open up the final Sunday in March with the latest edition of the Sunday Dawg Chow. Dogs by nature. NFL Draft Profile. QB Ty Simpson, Alabama, Thomas Moore. Cleveland needs a quarterback. What else is new? So, could they roll the dice on Crimson Tide quarterback Ty Simpson despite his lack of experience? NFL Draft Profile. QB Carson Beck, Miami, Thomas Moore. HC Todd Monken is familiar with Beck from their time at Georgia. Is that enough to overlook the flaws in his game? When can Browns fans, Myles Garrett, expect the team to win big? Jared Mueller, Myles Garrett's 2025 trade request was about the Cleveland Browns not being playoff contenders. When can fans expect winning? 2026 NFL Draft. Sign up for the DBN Community Mock Draft. Chris Picorni. We are close to kicking off our 16th annual DBN Community Mock Draft. Stockpiling more picks? Browns fans predict Cleveland will trade down again in NFL Draft. Chris Picorni. Browns fans weigh in on what happens with the 6th pick in the draft. Another Buckeye makes Cleveland's top 10. Browns NFL Draft Big Board. Vote for spots 11 to 15. Chris Picorni. The top 10 players are in for the Browns Big Board, and now you can vote for slots 11 to 15. Cleveland Browns. Browns at the NFL annual meeting in Phoenix. What to expect over the next 3 days? Cleveland.com. Browns leadership will spend the next 3 days at the posh Arizona Biltmore attending meetings and social events at the NFL annual meeting, where the league's billionaire owners and top decision-makers gather to shape the future of the world's most popular sports league. The story behind why the Cleveland Browns trusted Todd Monken to lead their franchise, The Athletic, it's the suits. If there's one anecdote that best describes new Cleveland Browns head coach Todd Monken, it's probably the story about the suits. Newest Browns WR Tylan Wallace joins BPA YouTube. On this episode of the best podcast available presented by Bullseye Event Group, newest Browns wide receiver Tylan Wallace joins play-by-play voice Andrew Siciliano to break down his journey to Cleveland and playing for Todd Monken again. Andrew and Jason Gibbs also discuss the free agency moves the Browns have made to this point and take some mailbag questions. Mel Kiper doubles down on his Shedeur Sanders take, Buffalo's Wire. Shedeur Sanders had a shocking draft slide last April, falling from a projected first-round pick to the 5th round. It took the NFL world by storm, and draft analysts were miffed throughout the 3-day event. Perhaps no one was more perplexed than ESPN's draft analyst Mel Kiper. NFL. How much difference will Giants' focus on special teams make? ESPN. A punter, a kicker, a long snapper, a pair of special teams aces. These were some of the listed items this offseason on the New York Giants grocery list. Best landing spots for the top remaining free agents, PFF. The initial waves of free agency have brought with it intriguing signings, blockbuster trades, and scathing controversy. There's been no shortage of action, and we aren't done yet. Many quality veterans remain, without new franchises to call home. The perfect free agent signing for NFL teams with the most cap space, Bleacher Report. We're a couple of weeks into the 2026 iteration of NFL free agency, and it has been a wild ride. But even after all that money was shredded, several teams still have a sizable war chest. NBA legend George Gervin caught off guard by Bears QB Caleb Williams' attempt to trademark Iceman, and FL.com. Chicago Bears quarterback Caleb Williams' attempt to trademark his new Iceman nickname had a frosty reception from the man who's been known by the moniker for roughly half a century. The calendar flips quietly, but for those who live and breathe roster construction, March 29th isn't just another Sunday. It's a signal. A low hum builds beneath the surface of the football world, the kind that only the truly invested can hear. Draft season is no longer approaching, it's arriving. And like a pot set to boil, you can feel the tension rising, the anticipation thickening, the inevitability of change drawing closer with every passing hour. Sunday Dawg Chow feels like the right name for a moment like this. It's raw. It's hungry. It's about appetite, not just for food or comfort, but for answers, for direction, for hope. Because that's what the draft represents. It's the one time every franchise, no matter how battered or broken, gets to believe again. The slate is wiped clean, or at least smudged enough to imagine something better written on top. There's something uniquely poetic about this phase of the offseason. The games are long over, the confetti swept away, yet the league feels more alive than ever. War rooms are being assembled like chessboards. Scouts finalize reports that took years, not months, to shape. Coaches pore over film deep into the night, searching not just for talent, but for traits, those intangible flickers that separate good from transformative. And then there are the fans. They sit at the heart of it all, oscillating between certainty and chaos. One moment, they're convinced their team has found the next generational cornerstone. The next, they're spiraling into doubt after reading a single mock draft that sends everything sideways. It's irrational. It's emotional. It's perfect. Sunday, specifically, adds its own flavor to this ritual. There's a stillness to it. No breaking news frenzy, no press conference theatrics, just space to think, to imagine, to debate. It's the kind of day where conversations stretch longer, where hypotheticals feel almost real. The kind of day where a seventh-round prospect can become a future legend in the span of a single argument. And Dawg Chow? That speaks to grit, to identity, to the idea that building something meaningful isn't clean or polished. It's messy, physical, sometimes uncomfortable. It's about digging through layers, finding value where others might not look, trusting instincts when data alone doesn't suffice. Teams that embrace this mentality often find themselves ahead of the curve, not because they outthink everyone, but because they outwork them. As draft season draws,